going to be doing a Cricut project using our Cricut Mini and Cricut Craft Room and the Anna Griffin Winter Wonderland Christmas cartridge, and I've been dying to use that. So we're going to cut out a couple of images using that cartridge, and then I'm going to use some of our paper, etc. as well. So it's all going to be kind of Anna Griffin central. So going into Cricut Craft Room, I have already linked now my Anna Griffin cartridge, so that's the Winter Wonderland there. Okay, so in the little manual, when you go to the page, it gives you the key number, and when you hover over, you can see just over there, it's hard to point with my arrow because I need my arrow, but you can just see there's a number. It says 33, so I know that I'm on the correct image. So I know, looking at my page here, I need 133. I need an F1 plus 33, so we click on F1 up there, plus the 33, which is there. I'm just going to click on it. Then I need an Shift plus the basic 33. Then I need Shift F1 33. So that's giving me my two little deer plus their layers, and that's all I need for this. So that's them put on my mat. I'm just going to change the color because I must work out how to change this to default because it drives me nuts having color on it all the time. Okay, so that's my little images. Now I'm just trying to see the sizing of what it would be, so I'm just kind of going to layer them up as it like they would be if they were together, which would be, it's a shame actually there's not one image, like one base image. That would be kind of useful, I think. So they would be, according to the picture, kind of like that. So let's link that together and then move it, and we're looking at about, oh, I must take that up, centimeters. I changed it because I was working in for a particular project, but I don't like it. Okay, so that image is approximately 2.5 inches square, so that's probably a little bit small because I've got a 6-inch card, the square card that I'm going for. So I'm going to use these arrows and just drag it a bit bigger to sort of 3 inches ish square. And if you have a look at the top, it's about 3.25 by 3 inches, and I think that will work fine. Now we're going to separate them and we'll be able to see. So that one is, so we'll change him to exactly 2 inches high, and this one will change to exactly 3 inches high. This is his little friend, so we'll change that to 3 inches high so that matches the layer for that one perfectly good. And then, so we'll put him over in that corner while we're there. Put him in that corner. Then this one we want to do to 2 inches. Okay, and we'll take those two down into the bottom 2 corners, like so. Okay, so I'm going to do one in a silver Anna Griffin sort of pattern paper from her Christmas collection. I'll show you that in a minute, and one in a Goldie selection, and we'll put those on the mat ready to cut. So I'll show you that once that's done and let you know what collection it's from. Okay, so I've loaded up my mat with my cardstock, so you can see I've got a dark gold, which is the background, sort of darker gold of the shadow that you can see in the booklet. Let me just show you what I mean. If you have a look at the image, you've got just a darker background like just to give dimension, so you can see on here. And so I've done that, and then I've done the same with the silver colours. So, and that has come from her Winter Wonderland collection. I've taken the papers from that one. It's quite a thick cardstock, so I'm going to go for quite a heavy cut on that, I think. And I think with this mini, the 5 will probably just be perfect. There we go. So we just load that in, let it do its thing. So I've loaded the paper, and now I'm just going to press cut. Said it's heavy cardstock, press cut. And it's going through fine at the moment, so okay, that's all finished. So we eject the mat, and let's see how that's come out. I'm going to pull off the excess first because I think that's easier. Just want to see one of them, dying to see what it looks like. Oh, isn't he cute? And I just love how thin the detail is on this Cricut Mini, how it can really get the detail done nicely. So we'll peel these off the mats, and we'll go over to the table and we'll put this card together. So here are our pieces all cut, and I think it's just absolutely amazing how well the Cricut Mini cuts, because the detail on these are incredible. So we're going to stick them, each element together, because this is like the shadow layer behind, and obviously at the moment this one's only got 2 legs, so we need to kind of put him together so he ends up with the right number of legs, and then a little bit of shadowing through through the ear hole and the ear part, and the eye, although the eye I don't think it's going to show that much. It's going to be mainly, and I've done it quite a subtle colouring, because I thought it would be nice rather than to use her paper, and rather than have like a really strong colouring, to go for something a bit more subtle. So I'm going to just use my Cosmic Shimmer glue, and just very carefully put that on. And then take that, and what you need to do is make sure that everything's matching up. So you match up, the legs are probably the most important, and then the ear next, because you don't want him having sort of 6 legs and 4 ears or something. So there we go. As I said, it's a very subtle change, just to give that very delicate difference. Okay, so that's that one done, and then we'll get the stag as it with his lovely antlers. Anyway, so there he is, and then we want to put the 2 together. Now what I want to do on this is actually slightly raise them up, so they're kind of, I'm going to just get the booklet and see how it's set out. Okay, so that's how they've laid out the design. So we're going to just copy that so that they kind of sit the same. So he's got his little bottom about halfway, and that looks about right actually. So I'm just going to take a piece of my foam tape and pop it onto this one's body here. And then I'm going to double foam it, because I think I want a little bit more height than that. So, and then let's work this one out again. Yeah, I think that looks about right. There we go. Oops. You've got a little bit of the foam sticking out there, but that'll be fine. And that just gives a bit of dimension to our little deer, which I think is really cute. So those we'll now put to one side, and we're going to get the card that we're going to be using for our card base. So I want to get two pieces of card. Now I want this on the front, and this is quite a good weight cardstock, and I thought that's a really nice piece for the front, and I was going to have that down the bottom, but I think actually I'm going to go for a more stronger piece, maybe in a goldy colour, gold and silver together. I rather like that, so let's see how that works with it. And I'm going to be trying to make a easel card with this, so that's going to be on the inside, but that's going to be showing at some point, and I think that looks quite good together. And then our little deer will pop up from the top of our easel card. And what I've also got is I've got in here a piece of paper, here we go, that's got the Christmas trees on, and I want to cut one of those Christmas trees out. Yeah. So a little Christmas tree. Now that may or may not get used in the end, but if we don't use it here, I'll use it somewhere else. That's not a biggie. So now we want to put these two pieces together. So what I need to do is I want this to fold in half. So the first thing I need to do is score this piece in half as a half, so that we can fold it in half to create our easel card. So just checking, it is exactly 6 inches, so I'm going to score it at 3 inches and then fold in half. And then on the one side I'm going to score at 1/2 inch to create another little edge, and I'm going to fold that the opposite way, like so. And then what I'll show you is that we can then take that piece and stick that down there, and then that'll allow that to come up, you can see from the side. So we're going to take that and a piece of our double-sided tape, which will be nice and strong for it. It's a more instant hold than wet glue, and I'm being impatient today, hence the foam tape instead of the gel glue. And then I'm just going to nicely line this up. It's important to line it up at the front so that the front lays out correctly, so you can always chop the back off a bit. There we go. So then we've stuck that down, and then if you hadn't got that fold there, you could use that as the back of the card, put the crease at the back and make that a normal card, but it's hard to make it stand up right now, and use that as a normal card. But because I'm doing it as an easel, we're going to have that folded like that. So now we need to put a piece across the front here at the bottom. Let's put this little chap out of the way if possible. And I'm going to use some of my scraps that I've got here, and let's have a look because I've got quite a few. So we want to bring some gold and the silver in. I've already got some pieces kind of cut, so let's use those because they were kind of strips already. I'm just looking at putting that across, whether that would, but I think that might, yeah, we'll leave that. So let's have a look. I think that's too wide, but I'm liking the colour. I think I'd prefer the pale. I think the gold, the dark gold edge with that piece there will be good. So let's get our trimmer. I'm going to do it, I think, just to where those dots are going to be even. So let me move this out of the way so you can see. on here we've got dots on the pattern, and I want it to be the same both sides, so that works out about 1.25 inches. And get rid of the spare. Oops. And then taking my other section, we're going to take it off this side. So we'll make it about 1.1 inches. There we go. I think that's straightened that up a bit, that's good. And then we've got just nice little dots each side, which is really cool, like that, and the pattern's reasonably even. So we'll pop that down there. Just going to check that it's the right width. Yep, which should be because it has been cut across that way, but it's always worth double checking. Then take my Cosmic Shimmer glue, put that along the back here. And then I've got some foam, so just turn that over, and then put some foam squares on the back to give it height, because otherwise there's nothing for it to kind of hold up against, because it's just flat. It needs something for this piece to sit up against so that it doesn't slide forward to the wrong position. Now I just need to see where I want this to be. I think that looks about right. It gives enough of the view of the cardstock that we've popped in place. Maybe about there, just a little bit, just kind of, yeah. So just take the backs off the foam square. Not my most even of foam squaring, but so I'm just kind of lining it up with those pieces there, and I think that looks quite good, so push that down, and then you can see now that the card is being held up, and I quite like the way that from above, you know, if you look at the card you can see that piece, and then just looking at it from the front, as it were, you've got that lovely different patterning and stuff. So now I just want to have a look about putting, I've got these gold swirls, I've had these for ages, that I cut out off the Big Shot, and I'm just looking to see if it will be suitable to use on these, and again I think it's not what I'm looking for. I'm just going to see. It might work, but I think it'll actually just get in the way of my image. What I'm looking to do is put the little tree there. I need to make sure it sits within the image, and have the little deer popping up the top towards the tree, and then put my sentiment underneath the deer. So I think I'm just looking there, and whether that piece would look nice along there. No, it's not right. I know it isn't. Okay, so let's pop the tree and stuff on. So again, I'm going to use my foam square. So I need to put this in position with the, and usually I need it in the upright position, because it's really hard otherwise to tell where you're going to stick. So I think that looks quite good. Making sure it doesn't go past the top of your card here, because otherwise it becomes bigger than 6 by 6, unless that's your design idea, but generally I would suggest you probably wouldn't be doing that. So then peel the backing off our tree and stick the foam down. And I actually want another piece of foam on that. I'm just going to try and pop that up underneath, because that's not quite holding in position properly with that foam like that. So I'm just going under the trunky bit. I'm just going to rip a bit off the end, because I'm a bit worried that that will poke out. And I'm just going to pop that under there, because it just was, I should have put a piece under there, but it's easy enough just to fit it in and then that will stick that piece down a bit better. That's better. So then we've got our tree there on the front, popping up, which I think looks really cool. And now we're going to put our little deer in position. The tree is actually too far across, so I'm just going to see if I can peel it off and move it slightly to the right. And that's coming off fine. There we go. It was just slightly too far over and the little deer were not fitting in, so that's better. Oh, that's much better. Right, so now I'm going to get my Cosmic Shimmer glue, and which parts are sticking down is the question. It's going to be the legs of him and his body. Okay, so we're just going to, and the point is to be careful not to go over put the glue over the bit where you are going to see it, if you can help it. But don't forget, it does dry clear, so to a certain extent we're not too worried, but we don't want it on the back if possible. So then just sticking that down. That's perfect, and then just going to flatten it down so I can really press that. So this little fella's only, the front one's only attached by the foam that's holding him on, and I'm just was looking here and thinking that the little piece of spare foam that I had here might do quite nicely, just a little piece of it behind his neck here, just to hold him in place a bit better, again like the tree. There we go, that's just holding him a bit firmer. And again down here, just under his little bum, we can put that other piece and that will hold it down in there. There we go, and that just gives him a little bit more adhesion. So that's that done there. Let me tip it so you can see. So there we go. And you'll get a better view of it, I think, once we get the picture, when I give you some photographs, but you can see how we've gone. And I'm going to stamp Merry Christmas down there. I've got two Anna Griffin ink pads here, and this is what she calls gold, and it kind of comes out like that kind of greeny gold, and then this is the warm grey, and both match really well. So I'm just having a look and thinking which would be nicer, and I'm thinking it would be nice to bring the warm grey up in there, because I'm just a little bit concerned that the gold might be just a bit too strong in that section. So we're going to use the warm grey. So it's a really nice ink pad, and we're just going to ink up our stamp. Okay, so I'm just kind of working out where I want it, and I'm thinking around there. So, oof, my card is being a pain because it wants to pop around. But so I'm just going to ink up my ink pad. Now it's a very juicy ink pad because it's brand new, so I need to be really careful. And then I'm just going to move that back so I can put my Merry Christmas, and I think I want it, as I say, about there. And that's gone on fine. There we go. So we've got Merry Christmas on our card here. So we've got, whoops, like so. And I have to say, I can't remember the name of this stamp set. I know it's a paper tray ink one, and I've had it ages, but I'm sure they still do it. I'm sure I saw it on their site only recently. So, but it's got loads and loads of sentiments in it. It's really, really cool in that it's got all these lovely fun sentiments. So then I need to put a pretty jewel in the top of my Christmas tree. So I'm just going to put that up the top here. Let's put that down flat so I can position it. Nice gold jewel. and then some other gold ones coming down. And then out on the branches I'm going to go for the crystal, so it's silver. So we're bringing in both colours. There we go. So that's all the jewels on our tray. I think that looks really pretty. That one looks like it's out of place a bit. There we go, that's better. Okay, and then the last thing I think I want to do, maybe I might want to add some more gems, but is I want to add this little swirl that I spoke about earlier, because I think it would look quite nice down there. It's not self-adhesive, unfortunately, so we're just going to use my Cosmic Shimmer glue and just put some on the back here, if it will come out. And just being careful around these edgy pieces, because I think that it's gonna we're not gonna use it to stick on all of it, so we don't want glue everywhere. And I'm just gonna pop it down like so. And that will hold it in position, and I think that looks really pretty. And that just finishes that off there nicely. And then I think I'm just going to add a couple of gems down here. I was going to do it here, but I think down here, and I think we'll go for the gold just to make it something, you know, stand out a bit. Just 3 little gems. Like so. Last thing I need to do is just do something about the little eyes on our I've got some silver glitter glue, and we'll just do a tiny bob in each. There we go. And you can barely see it. I don't even know if you guys can catch that, but it just emphasises that off nicely. Okay, so that's our finished card. I hope you like it. I hope you've enjoyed making it with me. I think this Anna Griffin cartridge is gorgeous, and I love the papers as well. I think it works really well with the cartridge and the lovely inks. So we've really gone out all Anna on this card. So I hope you've enjoyed making it with me. I hope you can see how easy it is to make a lovely easel card, and I hope you like it, and I'd love to hear your comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.